Do you know what I really, really like? Money. You can do so much stuff with it. You can buy whiskey. You could do other less essential things with it probably. But yeah, great stuff. You guys should probably look into it. I think it's going to be a big deal one of these days. Now, I just need to figure out a way to get a bunch of it.
Okay, what I want you to look at is a pattern within a pattern. And why do I say a pattern in a pattern? Well, because this is the patterns.
Wait, what's this got to do with money? Oh, right, it's the title of the video. That's right, Roger of Mudfossil University fame is doing it. James Randi did it, therefore we can do it to the same effect, where they offer some money to prove them or disprove them or whatever, but will never pay out because no one will ever hit the challenge. Only there's two main problems. When guys like Roger do this, one, they never have any money, too busy spending it on Spider-Man action car playsets or other equally nonsensical things. Seriously? Why does he need a car? He's frickin' Spider-Man? That's like getting Superman a tank. Sorry, sidetracked. And two, he actually, and get this right, gave them every chance in the world to actually prove their various nonsensical claims under lab conditions. To, in his case, prove the supernatural thing they could totally do. Any supernatural thing. But it never happened because supernatural stuff is bollocks. You, on the other hand, no matter how totally and completely, utterly destroyed your gibberish is, will never pay out because you don't have any money. How do I know he doesn't have any money? Just look at his video. Oh well, let's give it a go anyway for fun, shall we?
Okay, what I want you to look at is a pattern within a pattern. And why do I say a pattern in a pattern?
Because there's two distinct patterns? God, Roger, how dumb is your fan base that you have to go this unbelievably simple in order for them to grasp something as basic as you can have two levels of pattern? Wait, I do think I just answered my own question. They watch you, completely unironically. Is there a way we could describe this more simplistically? Do you know what? Never mind. They probably still wouldn't get it.
Well, because this is the patterns. You see? And then these are the patterns within these patterns. Now, what would that possibly represent?
Ugh, God, I don't know, Roger. Probably one of two things, or a combination of those two. It's either giants or dragons. Or perhaps giant dragons. Oh, no, wait, you do lizard people as well. Oh, is it a giant dragon lizard person? Or is that a little bit too redundant even for you, mate?
Do you think that is volcanic?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's how things like that happen. Take Giant's Causeway, for instance. Now, shh, Roger, I don't need to know what completely out there thing you think it is. We know what it is. And yes, it is from volcanic activity. And to be fair, it looks frickin' awesome. I can imagine the first humans running up on this place and being like, "Whoa, what the heck in chuff is this madness?" But eventually we figured it out and shock horror, it wasn't nonsense. So if we, knowing exactly what that place is, assume it's a similar deal to that, it's probably formed when molten basalt erupts through chalk beds and forms a lake of lava. As this is cooled and contracts, cracks propagate through a plateau to form hexagonal stepping stone shapes. You might be wondering, but why hexagons though? And that's actually really rather simple. Hexagons are one of the most efficient shapes found in nature. Things just absolutely love forming into hexagons, because they are the most space efficient and thus are the path of least resistance type deal. So when the magma was cooling, it would have done something like this. Pretty cool, eh? And considering that your thing isn't even jutting out, it seems even more likely to be the case.
Hello, my wonderful friends, Roger once again, and I am extremely disappointed with our geologists.
Ah, crap. Do you know what? I forgot I'm not a geologist. Right, I know. Any geologist in my audience, you go and repeat this video at him verbatim and we split the cash. Completely down the middle, 60-40. Oh, all right, twist my arm. I'll take the lot, cool. But yeah, kinda forgot I was talking to Roger while explaining this. So let's find out what the real truth TM of any rock formations are that is also totally not stupid TM or batshit insane.exe.
Because they have no concept of biology.
Wait. Are you telling me that geologists with degrees that relate to geology and study to pretty much the exclusion of everything else geological phenomenon aren't biologists? Me am the shocked. Next you'll be telling me that doctors aren't generally au fait with engines, or that garbage men tend not to make particularly good lawyers and vice versa in both cases. That can't be right. We all know specialization doesn't exist.
Or any of the nucleophilic processes that change biology into rocks.
Yeah, why would they be? Assuming that you're talking about something real, because that is not really about skipping rocks, or whatever the hell geologists do all day. That's about biology changing. And to be fair, isn't that more of a paleontology thing? I could be wrong, but my point is, there aren't just geologists or just biologists. There are ungodly numbers of scientific fields, because science is an ungodly big subject. Literally, we've totally been ungodded. So there's every chance that you are talking to the wrong people anyway.
They only know the names of rocks. I know how the rocks became what they are.
Of course they know where they come from. Igneous and metamorphic and whatever types of rock formation. That shit is fundamental to geology. What I think you really mean is, they don't simply agree with my completely off of the top of my head nonsense. Therefore, they am the dumb. Not how that works, Roger. Not even close.
And I'm going to show you right now. This is tendon.
Oh, of course. I get it now. Tendons. That thing that has absolutely nothing to do with freaking rocks. No, wait, I don't get it at all. In fact, I think it might be nonsense. Oh no, Roger. What are we going to do, Roger?
All right, this is living structural tendon in creatures' bodies. They are hex fibers, and they continue to come down to tiny little fibrils from a bundle. And let's see what that leads us to.
Oh, that was a lot. But Roger, is that the only reason you think that shit is ridiculously huge tendons? I assume that's what you think, because it definitely is. But mate, like I said, nature friggin' loves hexagons. It's mad about them. They are literally everywhere. So these things looking similar is absolutely, undoubtedly a coincidence. When you find two things in nature that form hexagons, it's very common because everything does it. This is like those idiots who say XYZ thing is bad because it contains chemicals, and then wonder why everyone stares at them like they have 3 heads. I mean, that would be confusing as they appear to lack even a single brain.
Now, it could be just me, but I see a tendon assembly in this rock structure.
Yes, Roger, it's literally just you and your pareidolia madness. Because as I always have to say with you, all your evidence is, look at this thing, it kind of looks like this other thing, therefore completely illogical and irrational conclusion every single time. But you never stop, so round and round we go, with the occasional pit stops to make fun of your audience for being literally the smuggest, dumbest people on the internet.
I see patterns within patterns of these hex fibers, which are tendon fibrils. Now,
are tendon fibers. Are they, Roger? And you know this because you went and checked and got a sample of the rock and showed that it was anything other than igneous rock formation? And for the kids in the back of the class, cough Roger fans and Roger himself, cough cough, igneous rock is what we call rocks formed via volcanic activity. It's a thing you learn at school when you're about 6 years old. So I figure you wouldn't know, clearly being kicked out at the age of 5 for sucking all of the intelligence out of the school like a big brain void.
There is a process that causes these biological components.
See, I thought you were going to get there for a moment, but then you went and shit your pants. Damn it, Roger, I don't know. It's my own fault, really. I keep giving you the benefit of the doubt, and then you just go and do it again. You would think I would have learned not to hope by now, but I am an optimistic moron. That is my cross to bear.
To turn into stone, and it's called nucleophilic substitution.
Right, so I looked up nuclear disco sub-dom boys, and that sure is a lot of words. Not going to claim to have read or understood them, but the thing is, I don't need to. Because, right, we already know how things like those will have formed. And it has absolutely nothing to do with giant whatevers. Even if I'm wrong about it being the same kind of thing as Giant's Causeway, there is absolutely no evidence of gigantic country-spanning anything that would have to exist for something that size to make sense, which it doesn't.
Now, I'm going to teach you how that works.
Okay, awesome. Let's all enjoy our school lessons with Roger today. Hopefully he doesn't make any glaring logical errors or factual claims that are just plain incorrect. That'd be embarrassing, and I'd have to inform the, Teachers Guild? Whatever, who cares? Let's watch.
Because it is the process that changes the transitioning, unstable molecules in your body, which are continuously giving and taking in nutrients and oxygen and giving up all these different byproducts and so forth. So it's a continuous transfer of unstable molecules.
Right, okay, and how does that make it so that this thing, which is clearly a bog standard geographical feature, not that? And where's the rest of it? And someone with a proper brain, fact check his explanation for me, because I ain't looking that shit up. But what's the betting it's just wrong anyway? And if it isn't, that doesn't mean it's not misapplied.
Well, when you die, that's why they rot, because they're unstable. If they're exposed to oxygen and different environmental factors, they just disintegrate into little bits and pieces, and things eat them, and they just deteriorate into soils and mud and clay and all that stuff.
That doesn't sound right. I mean, maybe that's part of it, but there's way more to it for sure. Decomposition starts after a humans, for instance, dies with a process called autolysis, which is effectively self-digestion. As the heart stops and oxygen ceases getting into your organs, a bit like when you do the old anaerobic respiration. Remember that one science thing from physical education? No oxygen means that toxins are produced and build up and basically melt your cells from the inside. Also, since you're dead, your immune system is kaput. So any and all bacteria in your body get to go to town eating you out. No, not like that, you freak. It's something far sexier. Putrefaction. And then insects and faunas and such go to town till you're naught but bones. What do you mean it's weird that I happen to know more about the science of rotting humans than anything else? Look, we all need hobbies.
Well, if they're not in those conditions, if they are under salty waters, which is the conditions your body and all creatures have, well, not all creatures, I can't say that for certain, but...
Right, stop. Extrapolate that thought, Roger. If you can't say that for certain, then there's other things you can't say for certain. So... maybe you haven't got a clue what you're talking about, and you're applying ideas to something that doesn't actually work in this situation. See, I wouldn't give Roger such a hard time if he, did some goddamn legwork, or at the very least sent his far too many fans out there to collect samples, and then do some science on them. But he doesn't, because if he did, well, I think you all know what would happen. He would prove himself to be completely correct, and we would all look really silly, and he would be given all of the Nobel Prizes for everything forever. What, it could totally happen? In f***ing Narnia?
Us certainly have a pH of 7.35 or so, which gives us a salty water internal condition, which...
That's actually effectively true. Humans do have a similar saltiness to seawater. You can taste it very distinctly. I mean, eating humans? I wouldn't do that. What kind of sick f*** do you take me for? Get it? Sick.
Is what these things live in. So they're not upset about being in that kind of a condition. And then...
Wait, what are you even arguing here? Because if it's, these things are by the sea, so that means that it's the same inside a person. What? I don't know. I hope that's not what you're saying, because it's a little silly. But to be honest, Roger, considering some of the things you've claimed today, a little silly might actually be a step up.
Biologically, though, they are upset because they need to continue to keep transferring molecules. Well...
oh, yeah, look at them. You can tell. I know my rocks, and those are some very depressed-looking rocks. They clearly found out they were going to be in your video, and now they are just inconsolable. Of course, I told them that they were going to be in my video by proxy later on, but it didn't help. In fact, let's just say their salt content increased dramatically.
They have a way of turning into solid stone.
Easy, Tiger. God damn it. I always get taken surprised by all your hardware abuse. Everything's going fine and is all nice, and then BAM! You clock some poor monitor or laptop right in the face. Someone has got to get that poor innocent equipment away from him before he does something really horrible, probably involving his tongue.
By taking on these transition metals, these elements over here have a whole lot of extra electrons. These don't have many electrons. They want to combine together to become stable using the transition metals to add a few electrons here, take a few away there, and boop, they become stable.
I'm sorry, I completely spaced out there, but yeah, how does any of that prove that's how that works? Roger, you can have all the clever, and I use the word loosely, but you can have all the clever little hypotheses that you want, but until you actually prove any of them true, you will always be the subject of derision. But the thing is, you never will because you literally can't. Because, dear Roger, you are one man fighting the tide of hundreds of years and countless man-hours of scientific work and discovery, which led to the all-important Proofy Boys. Yet you have umpteen zillion ideas on how the world works without being able to substantiate one of them. So here's a $10 bajillion challenge for you. How about you take your best idea, the one that you are most sure of, and prove the shit out of that. Till then, I think you'll find you owe me 10 grand. But I'll take it in whiskey payments, all at once. Should last me until at least Tuesday.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the